Because we've been speaking, they said to so many of these finance ministers about the situation here in Europe. Well, who better to ask what he thinks about what the future holds for Europe than Mr. Papa-Konstantino, the Greek finance minister. There's a lot of concern still. We're in 2011, just at the beginning, and actually we're talking about possible restructuring. We're talking about possible countries having to leave in the next 4 or 5 years. Is the situation in 2011 going to be much harder than what we saw in 2010?
Well, let me look at it from a different angle. We've stabilized the situation. 6 months ago, we were in a situation where we were not sure where we were going, where Greece was on the verge of default. We created a facility for Greece, 110 billion, and after that the European facility. That stabilized the situation, gave everybody time to prepare for the next steps, gave us time to do some pretty difficult things, which was to reduce the deficit by 6 percentage points in 1 year, put forward structural reforms which we needed to make the economy more competitive. So now, having done all that, both us for Greece and for Europe altogether, we have taken the time to look at solutions which are more permanent than simply firefighting, which is what we've been doing until now.
And actually, you have also said that you're ready to return to the bond market this year. This would be a year before the schedule set up by the EU and the IMF. Is this likely that you will tap into the markets?
Well, we hope so. We're issuing T-bills every month, but for longer issuances, we have to see how the market develops. We have always said that we wanted to come back in the market during 2011. A lot will depend on how the situation develops. If you go back a few months, you will remember that in October, spreads dropped by about 300 points for Greece. That was a good time. Then a number of decisions and uncertainty in the market the spreads went back up. If we have the right decisions now in the next few months, the comprehensive package that everybody's talking about, then I think this will change the situation drastically, which would allow us to come back into the market by the end of the year.
So if we have a good comprehensive package, that will have an effect on your yields. Do you have a specific kind of range of yield where you'd be happy to issue longer-term bonds?
I think it's a bad idea to actually give a specific number out. We all know that the rate at which Greece is borrowing, depending on where you look at it, a floating rate or a fixed rate goes up to 5%. So we're way beyond that at the moment. The spreads are quite high, and they have dropped a little bit, but they're still significantly high. So there's a lot of ground to cover before we can actually go out and issue long-term bonds, except one type, which is a diaspora bond, which would be geared to expats, Greek expats all over the world, which will be rolling out in the next few months.
Minister, there's of course a lot of talk about this comprehensive package, about exactly what it will be able to do. If the EFSF would be able to actually buy government bonds, would you consider, for example, buying back Greek bonds and then retiring them?
I think I would let the discussion go on a little bit more. I think it's not a very good idea to actually come in and say, yes, this is a very good idea. No, this is not a very good idea. The discussion at the moment has everything from the size of the FSF to its flexibility, to the lending terms, to what the FSF could or could not do. I think it's a very useful discussion. It's good that we've opened everything up, and we're looking at a broad range of alternatives. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to conclude that the heads of government and heads of state and heads of government can come up to a conclusion in the next couple of months.
But how important is it that actually this comprehensive package delivers a silver bullet, the kind of shock and all that the markets are waiting for, and how, what does it mean for Greece if it doesn't?
I wouldn't call it silver bullet, because silver bullet is just one particular solution, which is a cure-all. I think that it needs to have a combination of elements that together tells the markets that we're here to defend the euro, that we're here to give stability to the situation, and that we're here to produce a long-term solution rather than simply a solution which was right for the time when it was taken. But now events show that we need to adapt ourselves.
Mr. Papa-Konstantinu, thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg.